Hello my friends, and welcome back to part 2 of a 6-part series I'm doing here on YouTube called Pride Plants because it is Pride Month, and because it is Pride Month, I'm doing 6 videos, and each video is dedicated to a specific color in the rainbow. And in each video, I show you 10 or more plants that have that color of the leaves. I have already done purple, and today it is time for blue. But before I get started with the plants that I have, because they're pretty amazing and I've saved the best for last, I have to clear some things up. So it's me, Editing Dennis, and I have to tell you that it's not June anymore. It's not Pride Month anymore, but you know, maybe that's even better because it can be Pride Month any month actually, you know, and I will continue this series. But as you saw, I only did one video in this month, which is a bit crazy because I wanted to do 6, but that's okay. I can do them whenever I feel like it. But I've got some other things planned for summer and I'm gonna be going to work on those, and that's one thing. The second thing is that in the first video, I haven't asked for permission to use any of the photos specifically. In this one, I have tried reaching out to every single one of the people who posted the photos I'm gonna be using. Not all of them replied, not nearly all of them replied actually, but everyone that did said that it's not a problem as long as I credit them correctly, and I'm gonna do that. So from now on, I won't be asking for permission to use the photos. They are public material anyway, and it's fair use. So if anyone will complain, I will just blur the photo. But yes, I wanted to clear this, and let's get into the plants. I have my computer right here, so I can actually look up the photos that I have saved. And I'm gonna move to the side so you can get the names and everything and the photos right here. I have to put a short disclaimer here. I know these are called blue plants, but the coloration of each plant, of course, depends widely on the conditions you have them in. Maybe that is temperature, light, all these other kinds of things that you can just have these plants in. So if a plant that you see with the same name is just not blue, don't say it's not blue. It's just that specimen did not really present in the color that you want. So I can't promise all of these will always look blue, but these are the best I can get for you. So that's it. The first thing on my list is Microsuram thailandicum, which is a blue thingy, as Kaylee Ellen would call it. But it's a type of a fern that doesn't actually look like a fern because the leaves are very thick and they would easily break if you tried to squish them. But it is known to be very, very blue and has like a very shiny appearance. I also have written down Microsuram siamensis, which I think is also a similar kind of, I mean, it's the same genus, but it looks like little feathers coming out of the pods, but they're still very blue. I think the amount of the bluiness depends on temperature and amounts of light. I remember that from Kaylee Ellen's video. She said that when she got them in very small, they were actually kind of hard to take care of. They didn't die, but they didn't really do much. But when they got big, they kind of became a little more easier. And yeah, these photos are, oh my god, beautiful. Also, it is a very, it really depends on the post, but some of them have really, really dark blue, and some others have more like a greenish light blue. So that's the first plant. I really, really like it. I think that if I could get one, I would maybe try it, but I don't really like things that have really robust kind of thick leaves. I prefer things like philodendrons that have more like flappy leaves and all of those. I don't even like Hoyas, so I don't know. It's not my type of a plant, but it's really, really gorgeous. So get it if you can, because they're so pretty. So the second one is Selaginella wildenowii. Again, I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly, but again, this looks like a type of a fern. It's like a little. Have you ever played the game Slither.io? That's kind of the vibes this plant is giving me. It grows these like longer leaflets. I'm not even sure how you call these, but In some lights, this can look a bit more green, and then in some lights, it can be very iridescent blue, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I have seen many people grow them in terrariums, but also they have them like as just some cool tropical plants. I don't even know. I don't know a lot about the plant because I have never like even seen it in person, but I think it's very, very gorgeous. I'm gonna put a picture here of a variegated one because it's actually very pretty, but I would actually love to try this one out one day. It's giving me kind of fairy vibes. They're so, so pretty. Yes, and I would love to just, you know, see it one day. So I don't think I could make this video without this third plant, which is just a Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu blue. It's just a Cebu blue pothos. This is a beautiful, beautiful either trailing or climbing plant. I have one that I'm gonna be showing you in a second. I have one, it's growing up a pole because honestly, if you see the potential of this plant, you're going to grow it up a pole. I know it doesn't look like a lot, it's just a few long leaves that sometimes look a little more green, a little more blue. Again, depends on the conditions you have these plants in. If you ever saw a pinnatum Cebu blue mature, you would probably be growing it up a moss pole. But yes, you can have them trailing. I think in USA, you can get baskets of these in like big box stores for pretty cheap. Here in Slovenia, I actually didn't get one for a very long time, and I just got a cutting for actually free because I know the seller. But you can get them in different kind of stages, but I know in USA it's like uncommon. Here it's just a little more harder to actually find like a big plant. People have them, but not in a huge amount. Okay, so this is my plant. There is another leaf down here that's giving a bit more blue, but the new leaves come out a little more green, and then they kind of slowly fade down to a bit more bluey. I'm gonna be giving you another video of this over this, but still, it's really cute. I can't wait for this to grow. And so this plant also fenestrates, which means it gets these holes in the leaves, but at the rate of how fast this plant fenestrates really depends on the specimen. I have here some photos where people grow them up poles, and maybe they grew like maybe 50 centimeters and still no holes. However, mine right here already has a bunch of little holes in the leaves, but they're not like side fenestrations, they're like inner fenestrations. Maybe some subspecies, I don't even know. But I do want to point out there is an Epipremnum pinnatum, just green. So make sure you get the Cebu blue because not every pinnatum is this blue. Number 4 is a bit more exotic for me. I haven't like seen it before. It's not really a type of plant that I would ever kind of have in my collection, but that's because it's a cactus. So this is a Philodendron magnificus. Now, this plant, if we're talking about blue, this plant is actually very fitting for the list, but I have kind of noticed that with a lot of these plants that kind of don't get a lot of water in nature, so like succulents and then cacti, things like that, they have a little like layer, and it's a protective layer. So if you would scratch that layer off, it would be a bit more greeny, but that layer kind of looks blue in the sun. Is it for probably protecting from losing a bunch of water? I'm not sure how that works, but it's a little powdery kind of thing. I can't really describe it, but it's very blue. I think it's like if you were to cut it, you would just get like a star because it has 5 of these kind of fronds, or how do you even call these? I don't know. Oh no, never mind. This one has like 7 of them. So I guess it depends on the specimen. But these can range anywhere from like a deep kind of purple to like more grayish. This one that I have here is kind of gray. Okay, the plant number 5 is also a classic, and y'all would miss it if I didn't put it here. So number 5 is Philodendron hastatum. I also have 2 or 3 of these. But they are this very cute kind of bluey, greeny, silvery philodendron that kind of shines, sparkles a little bit under like a light. It's very, very pretty. If you can get them to mature, like final mature leaf size, they get like very big and like sword like. They have like a very sleek leaves and then like 2 ears. They're very pretty, and if I can show you like a mature photo, that would be great. I will also be showing you my specimens right now. These are kind of easy to propagate, kind of not hard to take care of. They love humidity as other philodendrons, and that's just kind of it. They're kind of basic philodendron care. Should do fine for them, and that's kind of all I'm gonna say, because it's really, you can get these in big box stores, you can get these in your gardening centers, you can get these everywhere. They have been in tissue culture for years, so it's easy to get these, okay? Number 6 is one that I have just seen randomly, and I cannot not put it on this list because it's just fully blue. It's beautiful, but I have seen different names, I have seen different conditions of this plant. I'm gonna put it here just for the color, okay, purely, but the plant's name is Bucephalandra phantom, and I am kind of asking because I'm not sure if it's phantom or Cryptocurine. That's also a hashtag that I have searched, and I kind of got this plant. So, okay, to kind of describe it easily, maybe the Cryptocurine is like a genus and there's more of these different plants in there, but as far as I see, these are either vivarium or aquarium plants. I'm not 100% sure, I could be very wrong, but a lot of these I've seen very kind of wet conditions growing, and the original photo that I saw, I'm gonna put right here, is from Another World Plants. They have a fully blue ones, and they are, oh my god, they're so gorgeous. They have also just the little sleek vein throughout the middle of each leaf, and they grow like a little star shape. They're very pretty. So this is kind of the post where I got this thinking from, that they have to be in like low light to produce the blue, because as they say, kept in very dim light to accentuate the iridescence and the colors, which in this photo I caught at an optimal reflectance angle. So probably that means that not in every single angle these are gonna look fully blue. Again, they're so pretty. If you can get them, try it. Maybe I can't tell you the care, I can't tell you anything, but yes, as you can see from the posters throughout these photos, you can turn to them for like questions or things like that. I don't even know. Ooh, this next one is actually very weird because I didn't know about this plant before I started searching for these plants. So it's an Alocasia heterophylla Corazon, not sure. There are many very pretty photos of these Alocasias. They have kind of very, they have a very similar appearance to, let's say, a silver dragon, but without the like darker veination. There isn't a bunch of contrast in the veins, and the leaves is just fully more of like a bluey kind of silver. I was thinking of not putting the plant here because compared to others, it doesn't look that blue, it's more silver. But since I already got permission from a few people, I said, you know what, let's put it here. I cannot tell you how rare these are. I think you can get them if you want, because like it's an Alocasia, it's not even variegated, so this next one is kind of like the Caladium clavatum from the last video. It's like I found a few photos that are very gorgeous and beautiful, but I didn't see like a huge amount of people owning this plant. But it's a palm tree, and it's not just any palm tree. It's a fully blue palm tree, and each leaf is this beautiful cyan blue color, which I haven't actually seen before, which I think it has to be the only one on the list. So this plant is called Cycas coetziana / Cycas cairnsiana. I see different people naming it differently. It's a palm tree. I can't tell you how to take care of it because I do not own palm trees. But this original photo from Journey Through Paradise is just the most amazing blue coloration I have ever seen on like a plant. I think you can have these indoors, I'm not sure, but they have it outside. Next, I have two Skindapsises, but one of them is very new to me. I have never even heard of this plant before. So this is a Skindapsis lucens, and also Skindapsis strubii moonlight. So the first one, I don't know how often you can actually get it or like how rare it is, but the second one, I know that it's pretty available in USA, but here in like Slovenia, we don't really get them. But the thing is, both of these two Skindapsises, can I get a photo of them together? Maybe, not sure. But both of these have very silvery, bluey appearance. The one that, what I like about the lucens is that it's not so contrasty. It's just like the full leaf is one color, you can see the veins, and that's enough for me. I really like that in a plant. So I think it's giving the most blue from entire Skindapsis genus, and I think it's very, very pretty to look at. And I think because it's Skindapsis, it would grow a bit more slowly, but it shouldn't be very hard to take care of, but maybe some Skindapsis aren't that easy to take care of. I don't know. I only have one Skindapsis, and that's it right there. But that's my experience with them, so I can't tell you more about it, sadly. You probably already know this next one, but you don't know the Latin name because I've never heard it before. So like, it's a Phlebodium aureum or the blue star fern. This one is a very common plant that I also see a lot in our garden centers here. It's just a fern with these very pretty kind of arm-like leaves. Like each leaf has a bunch of the little things going out of them. But again, they have the little powdery substance on them that I think prevents them from like too much light or water loss. I'm not sure. The thing is, these have always been kind of popular, and I'm not sure if they're very hard to take care of. Some of these ferns actually grow like these very hairy roots that grow out of the pots. It's a pretty cool looking thing, actually. Not sure if that's everyone's kind of cup of tea, but I actually really like that. So looks elegant, delicate, and pretty. We have two more things on my list, but the last one is literally the top of this video because of the colorations and the shininess on everything. But I have to talk a little more in depth about it because there's some things to say. So before I do that, I just kind of grouped together a few outdoor kind of plants. And we're talking mostly like succulents or like different kind of like agave, or the first one is Festuca glauca. It's a blue grass that I have also seen growing naturally in Kras around where I live, and it's a pretty grass. That's all I'm gonna say. We also have some, I have written down blue agave because there's different blue ones that I can find on Instagram. But basically, some of these grow huge, massive. Some of these have more like smaller species. Some of them have a bunch of spikes. This one has like black spikes and it's really beautiful. But yes, again, with the blue kind of powder on the leaves. And then I also have written down different succulents because I have seen different photos of just different kinds of indoor succulents that you can get that all kind of have some blue to them. I also want to mention the NC Philanthrus horridus, just a very succulent kind of, what even is that? It's a sisad, okay? And these are kind of like very old plants. They're very spiky, they're very slow growing, so I wouldn't have that like indoors, but they're cool to have somewhere like growing randomly in front of your house or something. So that's kind of maybe what you're supposed to do with them. I don't know. Okay. Finally, moving on to number 12, which are begonias. Now, some of you probably expected this, but the thing I want to say about begonias is that They are known to grow in a very low light conditions where they actually come from. And for that, they have developed kind of different pigments, colorations to maximize the amounts of light they receive in nature. I'm not sure how to actually say all of these, but that's how they grow in nature. So with the right conditions, you can get these plants looking blue as heck. Like, these are blue. But a lot of these begonias, I'm probably gonna show you some videos. If you would see them in an everyday kind of light, you would think nothing of them. They look boring. They look nothing like blue. So why am I talking about blue? The moment you shine some light on them, like when you put them in the dark and you shine like a phone flashlight on them at the right angle, you can actually have these looking very blue. I have written down Berkelii dark form possibly, which has literally dark blue, and also some little dots that are just very pretty. I have written down Pavonina, which is one of the most famous blue begonias, but people have called it a scam because it doesn't look that blue all the time, but that's just kind of how they do. The third one is species Sarawak, which is one of my favorites. It looks so cute, and they kind of just crawl on the floor, and they will use all the floor space. If I would have a huge terrarium, I would put the species Sarawak all over the floor. It would look gorgeous. And I think we have Begonia Black Velvet. It looks blue. No. It looks black most of the time, like fully black, and it's beautiful. And then you shine light, and then it looks blue. I'm gonna be showing you the photo right now, but it's beautiful. And the last one is Begonia Temuyuk, which has kind of reddish kind of edges, or like these ends sometimes. But the rest of the time, it just kind of looks fully blue/green. It's a beautiful begonia, and when the new leaves come out, they're gonna be fully red. Oh my god, it looks gorgeous. It literally looks gorgeous. And there is so many more species and hybrids that you can get that all kind of look different, and that's what makes these begonias so exciting. I don't have a lot of experience with begonias because they don't like me. They die. So I think if you want to have a begonia like this, you kind of need to have like a terrarium and just keep them in there because they need a lot of humidity to live. And the moment you put them out of the humidity, they will just die. So that's kind of it from me for today. I think I put in a bunch of very pretty plants that some of you haven't heard of before, and maybe you're gonna be adding some of them to your collection at some point. So I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day. Goodbye. Ooh. And because it's fragment, I'm doing 6 videos, and in each video I show you. And because it's fragment, I'm going to be doing 6 videos dedicated to each color of the rainbow, and it's the and because it's fragment, I'm going to be doing 6 videos for each color of the rainbow. And because it's fragment, I'm going to be doing 6 videos dedicated. I'm going to be doing 6 videos each dedicated. And because it's fragment, I'm going to be doing 6 videos each dedicated to the color of the rainbow in the right order, of course. And in each video I show you 10 plants that have the color of the leaves. Now I've done the already. They are for. And because it's fragment, some of these growing in different terrariums.